Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Kazina, aka Kozibear, and I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening for another installment of Season 5 of Kozibear's Cooking. First, a shout out to Danfin128 who just subscribed. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Kingdom of Cozy, as my auto-generated message in the chat so says. Truly, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is a limited run 6-episode show that you can watch live on both twitch.tv/CozyBearLive and youtube.com/@CozyBearLive every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time between July 3rd and August 7th. I was ever so slightly late getting this episode in order. That's because of a couple of reasons. One, I am going to be using some good old-fashioned chocolate chips on this stream. For what reason, you'll find out in just a moment. And I realized at the last minute, I thought I'd gone to the grocery store and I thought that I'd gotten some chocolate chips. Apparently, I never got those chocolate chips, so I had to make a grocery run today in absolutely torrential pouring rain. Kyogre was out there just drizzling off a storm, trying to turn the world into a torrential downpour. It was really quite wet. It was not nice at all. So I had to go get that. I had to take a shower. It was a whole shebang. And then the other thing is, you're probably listening to me right now thinking, this boy, this cozy fellow sounds a little bit better than he does typically. Does he perhaps have a new microphone attached to him right now? In fact, he does. Right now, I'm wearing what is called the Rode Lav 2, and I know I'm probably getting that wrong. I'll add an annotation of what its actual name is. Basically, it's a newer model of the Rode Lav microphone. I had to have it set up just before I went live with today's stream because, of course, I'm a massive procrastinator. I can't get this stuff done as soon as I possibly can, and so I had to wait until the absolute last minute to get that done and over with. I think the quality sounds quite good. I think it is a step up from the quality of the microphone that I had on my previous stream. That being said, I will be doing what I can to improve its quality even more going forward. I have a few ideas of how I can do so, but I don't need to worry you with busy work like that. Let's get back to the rigmarole. If you miss watching it live, don't you worry. And by it, I mean these episodes. You can view full-length VODs of past episodes of my show on both platforms, as well as clips and highlight reels of the show's best moments exclusively on YouTube. On this past Monday, I actually put up a highlight reel of my cheeseburger omelet stream. It was my first time doing a highlight reel like that. I wanted to create these highlight reels because I figure that most people aren't going to be super motivated to watch a 2-3 hour long stream of me dilly-dallying around in the kitchen, doing these sorts of things. I'm pretty pleased with the edit. I think it came out really good. So definitely go give that a watch if you're like, oh man, I really wanted to watch you making that cheeseburger omelet, but I didn't really feel like tuning in for the whole 2-3 hours. Give that a watch because it's under 15 minutes and it will get you caught up on everything you missed. All right, with that out of the way, by the way, my mouth feels really sore. I think I spoke a little bit too fast and a little bit too loudly all at once. I'm gonna have to figure out how to rectify that. Hello to Silos in the YouTube chat. Nice of you to join us today. I have a great episode in store for you. And by you, I mean you, Silos, and also everyone else who's currently watching. Tonight, we are going to be making Nanaimo ice cream bars. Now, ahead of time, I was like, it would be good to actually read a little bit about Nanaimo bars, because not everybody necessarily knows what a Nanaimo bar is. And it's like, you know what? I should definitely have the Wikipedia page for it pulled up on my phone, and then I completely forgot, so I'm pulling that up right now. So Nanaimo bars are a Canadian snack. It's not really something I've ever seen in any other sections of the world, even sort of like the northernmost sections of the United States. Here's what Wikipedia has to say. The Nanaimo bar is a bar dessert that requires no baking. That's right, no baking. And is named after the Canadian city of Nanaimo in British Columbia. British Columbia is, of course, the province on the westmost coast of Canada. I've never been there. Actually, that's not true. I was there once for a layover. Never explored it much beyond that. As I understand it, it's very cold. It's very wet. I mean, it's that same kind of weather that you would expect out of the like northwestern section of the United States, you know, your Seattles, for example. It's very similar to that. The Nanaimo bar, getting back to the Nanaimo bar, consists of 3 layers. A wafer, which consists of nuts, such as walnuts, almonds, or pecans, and a coconut crumb base. Silas in the chat says, shout out to British Columbia. Cool province. Shout out to British Columbia. I'm pointing because I'm trying to figure out in what direction is British Columbia from where it is that I'm currently standing in Montreal. Maybe it's in back. Maybe it's in back of me like that. Anyways. It consists of 3 layers, a wafer, nut, and coconut crumb base, a custard icing layer in the middle, and a layer of chocolate ganache on top. Many varieties exist, consisting of various types of crumb, various flavors of icing, such as peanut butter, coconut, or mocha, and various types of chocolate. And to help things out, I actually have an image that you can refer to of what a Nanaimo bar looks like right over here in the upper left corner. Pretty cool looking little thing. Here's what I'll say. I like Nanaimo bars a lot. They're very tasty. I'm always down to have one. They're definitely the kind of dessert where you can't have too many all at once. It's very easy to OD on these things. You got to take them slow and steady, have a couple of them, maybe have some fruit, maybe have some ice cream, maybe have some other desserts on the side. Don't make your whole afternoon just shoveling Nanaimo bars down your gullet, because you are going to get sick of them real fast. But they are tasty in moderation. And so, yeah, the idea is, I was like, you know what? It'd be cool to make Nanaimo bars on stream. And then I thought about it and I was like, but certainly I can do something a little bit more interesting, something a little bit more advanced, something a little bit more, I guess you could say, fanciful, exciting. And I was like, you know what? It'd be good to put my good old ice cream maker to use. I have not used this thing in quite some time. Certainly I could find a use for it. And I was like, oh, what if I made a Nanaimo ice cream bar? And I was like, but do recipes of those exist online? And sure as shit, there are plenty of Nanaimo ice cream bar recipes online. I sorted through them to figure out which one would be best for the purposes of what I'm going to be doing today. And the one that I eventually settled on is this recipe from elementalcustard.com. I'm just going to read like the opening paragraph here. This recipe was inspired by my university days when my friends and I would eat Chapman's Nanaimo bar frozen yogurt in the tub. So basically what the recipe intro paragraph is alluding to here is there is a Nanaimo bar flavored ice cream, but like it's like a tub of ice cream that just is like custard and coconut flavored. It's not like shaped like a Nanaimo bar. It's just, it contains the flavors of a Nanaimo bar, which is not what we're doing today. I had long since forgotten about my heartbreak until this summer, while in Tobermory, I don't know where that is, visiting the Sweet Shack where they featured a Nanaimo bar ice cream flavor. It was sold out, so continues my sad quest. Must I do everything myself? While formulating my recipe, I decided to change it into an ice cream sandwich instead. Give it a try. And so we are going to be following this recipe. So again, if you want to, after the stream, make this recipe yourself, you can go over to elementalcustard.com and look up their Nanaimo ice cream bar recipe. So without further ado, let's get the show on the road. Something I discovered after last stream is it was a little bit cumbersome to constantly have to switch between multiple different websites, because when I was making the cheeseburger omelet recipe, I was like consulting a bunch of different websites and also my own notes. And so what I'm doing for this stream and what I'm going to do going forward for every subsequent stream is I basically transposed and rewritten the instructions from this website's recipe into the notes app on my phone, and I've rewritten them to be kind of like as coherent and straightforward for what it is I'm going to be doing on my cooking stream. So shouldn't have any issues there. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Step 1. We are going to start by making our ice cream. We're going to heat milk, cream, and sugar in a medium-sized pot over medium-high heat on a stove, stirring occasionally until the mixture comes to a gentle simmer. So right up front, let me grab my cooler pack, which is in the trolley down below. We are going to be using, excuse me, 1 3/4 of a cup of 3.25% milk. I always get it confused whether it's 3.25 or 375. We're going to be mixing together 1 1/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream, 35%. And we're going to be mixing together a 1/2 cup of sugar. Let me just put this back down here for a moment. We're actually going to need to, let me bring in the half top-down camera. We're going to need to rearrange some things on our table a little bit. Whoa! Thank you so much to Krasmaster for subscribing on YouTube. Thank you so much. Very appreciate it. We are going to be needing to rearrange things on our table a little bit because, as you can see, things are a little bit cluttered. We have a lot of things going on here. I think first things first, we gotta go ahead and we gotta move some of our pots and pans out of the way. This is a little thing of egg yolks, which we'll be needing a little bit later on. So I'll put it over there. It should be fine. I'll just put this in the trolley down below temporarily. I have a lot of things on the desk today, and you're probably wondering, oh man, a lot of stuff in store for today's stream, and there certainly is, but trust me when I say that will all make sense. Last time we worked with our portable burner, you might remember that we had a bit of difficulties getting its wire to connect to our power outlet. I actually reworked things this time so that we'll be able to get it to reach no problem without needing to completely disassemble our workspace here. I say that and I'm struggling to undo something. There we go. And there we go. That is plugged in. Now the only thing is there a way to maybe... I want to like hang this wire thing so that if I do this, there we go. I think that's good. Yeah, that's something to definitely think about for the future. But anyways, that's plugged in, nice and good. What are we going to need to use? We're going to need to use, of course, a pot. Let's see, we've got 2 different pots. And I think we're going to want to go with the slightly bigger of the 2. Put that one back over there. Oh, and lest we forget, of course, because we're going to be cooking on the stove in our basement over here, we are going to need to set up our portable hood range. Oh no, something got... Oh, okay. I thought something had scraped against the desk, but it seems like there's just maybe a little bit of residual sugar over there. Gonna plug this guy in. By the way, as I alluded to earlier, it's currently raining very torrentially right now in Montreal. It's pretty bad. It's not thundering and lightning, nothing super severe. We're definitely getting the kind of tail end of some hurricanes that might be occurring in other parts of the world right now. Again, not super severe. If it seems like things are going to get a little bit severe, though, I'll let you know. I don't think that we're going to necessarily encounter like a power outage. In all my years of streaming, there's definitely one instance where I encountered a power outage in the middle of me streaming. That definitely happened once, but like it only happened once, and it's never happened in the middle of me doing my cooking stream. So I think we'll be a-okay. All right. Portable hood range is plugged in, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to, let's see. We'll go ahead. Let's pour our liquids and sugar into our pot before we start heating up our thingamababa. Oh, it seems like the bag that we're keeping our sugar in is a little bit loose. Some of the stuff fell on the side. It's okay though. I mean, there's not a lot of sugar left in this thing to begin with. So we're going to need to start with 1/2 cup of sugar. Here we go. Oh, before I put this in, actually, so earlier up, I brought up the image of the Nanaimo bars in the upper left corner. I actually also have an image of what the finished product that we're going to be making today looks like. So this image is what a normal Nanaimo bar looks like, the non-frozen dessert. And this is the image that was included on the recipe that we're consulting today. This is what we're aiming for. Looks pretty good. I mean, both of them kind of have their appeals. You can kind of tell that this one is not frozen, whereas this one is frozen. But yeah, that's what we're currently aiming for. So let's get this on the road. Let's see here. Not quite half a cup of sugar. Let's see. I think that's... There we go. Now that is a half a cup of sugar. Whoops. A little bit of dirt got in there. Sugar is spilling a little bit, so I'm just gonna put this off to the side for the time being. All right, let's go ahead and let's get our cream in here next. We are gonna need, how much? We're gonna need 1 1/4 cup of heavy cream. I don't know if this is the entirety of the carton that we're gonna end up using up through this. Damn it, I tried to fold this thing up so that I could more easily fit it into the lunchbox that I have in the trolley, but now it's like kind of hard to open. Here we go. I'll try to do it on this side so you can see me pouring it better. There we go. That's ourselves a cup. And there we go. It's a little bit, as you can see, the cream has really kind of coated the inside of the measuring cup, but we'll be able to scrape that down a little bit in a bit. And there we go. There's still a little bit left inside, which is unfortunate because I was kind of hoping to just finish it all off in one go. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to fold this bad boy up, put it back in our little cooler packed lunchbox down below. We're going to grab our 3.25% milk. And so yeah, we're trying to pour 1 3/4 cup of this stuff as well. Well, it's slightly more than a cup, so I'll have to adjust when we measure out the additional 3/4 cup. You know what? So we're going to be doing a little bit of mixing here in a moment. I'm going to actually move this over so we can, there we go, create a little bit more space for ourselves. In fact, I'm probably gonna need to move this thing over as well temporarily. I don't know where to put it though. We'll figure it out. All right. Final 3/4 cup. Whoops. All right, I think that's good. And in we go. I think because we kind of used our 3.25% milk after the cream, I think we got most of the cream out of the measuring cup. Probably want to rinse it later, but that's something for future me to worry about. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reseal our lunchbox. And there we go. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this thing on. Turned on. Hold on. There's a lot of sugar that got on the table, and I want to get rid of that while I remember to do so. And we're going to turn this up to, it goes up to 7, so I'm going to set it to just under 5. I think that's probably good. Let's grab ourselves a spoon and let's mix this thing up. Recipe says that we're going to want to make a point of like mixing it, not like super often, but just often enough so that you don't have any fat start curdling up or anything like that. We also, at this point, want to make sure that the sugar gets fully what's the word where like a sugar or a salt or something like that fully becomes integrated into the liquid? Someone in the chat that's smarter than me and doesn't have regular brain parts will be able to know what I'm talking about. I keep trying to say, I'm about to say evaporate, but it's not evaporate. Dissolved. There we go. Dissolved. We got it, guys. We're good. Oops. Shit. The milky mixture spilled on the burner, but we don't like that, so we're gonna remove that real quick. Okay. It's probably still going to create a bit of an issue. I'm going to turn on the hood range now. Okay. While that's happening, let's go ahead to step 2. Step 2 says, meanwhile, combine the custard powder and egg yolks in a large bowl with 2 tablespoons of milk. So we have a vanilla pie slash custard slash pudding filling right over here. We have a cup with 4 egg yolks, all pre-prepared because I figured it would be a little bit, it was going to be a little bit messy if I cracked 4 eggs like that and separated the yolks from the, what do you want to call them, whites on stream. Figured it'd be better to do that ahead of time. And of course we have our milk in the lunchbox that we'll be able to get. Hello to Nightly Neon. Yes, we have some residue here and there. I really wish we had not spilled milk on the burner. We cleaned it up right away, but it's still sizzling a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and let's mix our things together. We're going to start by putting our egg yolks in here. Let's see. There we go. 3 of the yolks are perfectly preserved in their original shapes, but one of the yolks broke apart a little bit. That always happens when you do this sort of thing. There we go. I'm just trying to get as much of it as I can in there. Okay, I can probably put this in the trolley, actually. So we're not going to need that cup anymore. Let's put in our 1/4 of a cup of vanilla powder. This is from a brand called Jodis. I got it very cheaply at our grocery store down the street. It's a Greek brand, as I understand it. Let's see here. This stuff tends to be a little bit on the sticky side, which makes it a little unwieldy, but we're going to do our best. Yeah, we're not quite at a 1/4. All right. Let's see. I can do a little bit more. Yeah, we're good. It's a 1/4 right there. I'm just going to take a moment to mix up our milk mixture just a little bit, make sure it's doing okay. I think we're good. Let me just, I'm going to give myself a little bit more space to work. I'm just going to move this over just a little bit before it gets too hot. Let's see here. Some of the vanilla pudding mixture is sticking to inside the measuring cup, so I gotta scrape it up and get as much of it in here. Do my best. There we go. I think that's okay for now. And of course, gotta get ourselves 2 more tablespoons of milk. I thought I was done with our milk for the time being. Let's see here. It's 1 tablespoon. It's 2 tablespoons. Oh, kind of a heaping second tablespoon, but it's okay. All right. Milk gets folded up, goes back in the lunchbox. Oof. Go. Stir up our milk mixture a little bit more. There we go. All right. And, whoops. Don't worry, nothing fell on the floor. Let's go ahead and let's whisk up our egg and vanilla pudding mixture. You know, let's get a better look at the action here. It's funny, initially it starts real clumpy and I was concerned like, oh, is this gonna not fully properly integrate into each other? But look at that. Look at that. It's come together real nice. And so, yeah, I think this is about as good as we're going to get for the egg mixture right now. And so what we got to do is we got to wait for our milk mixture on the stove to come to a gentle simmer. And then step 3, we are going to slowly add the hot milk mixture to the eggs after it comes to a gentle simmer. A little bit at a time, whisking constantly to avoid scrambling the eggs. We're really going to make sure that we whisk to make sure that we don't get any scrambles. Then we pour it back into the pot, and then we cook on the stove, stirring for just a short amount of time until the mixture will thicken and basically reach a point where it's almost boiling. Nightly Neon in the chat says, wet it down, moisten the dry part. I don't know if he had that specific tone in mind when he wrote those messages in the chat, but I'm gonna imagine that that's what he probably used. Wet it down. Oh, milk mixture. I think we're getting very close to our milk mixture reaching a light simmer. We're very close. Oh, yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove this from heat. And we're going to still keep the burner. I'm actually going to turn the burner down slightly to 4. And with that taken care of, I'm going to very carefully whisk this thing up while we slowly add milk in here. Sorry that the pot is kind of covering a lot of the view, but I need to be careful here because this milk is very hot and I don't want it accidentally spilling on the desk. Nightly Neon in the chat says, I did. Good. It's good that we're simpatico like that. Just really making sure I whisk furiously to make sure that we don't get any scrambles. The only thing is I wish that I could like automatically just move the... Oh, oops. Little thing of milk spilled on the burner. That's not good. I wish I could move the portable hood range so I could more quickly move it over to the location of the pot right now, because a lot of steam is still emerging from it. Go. I think one more pour will be good. And there we go. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to grab some paper towels. And I'm going to wipe down the bit that we spilled on the portable burner, just being very careful so I don't burn my fingers. I'm also gonna wipe down the bit of milk that was dripping off the side of this thing over here. Okay, that's about as good as we're gonna get. And now with that taken care of, we're gonna pour our egg and milk mixture back into the pot, and we're gonna cook on the stove, stirring till the mixture thickens and is almost boiling. I'm actually gonna turn down the heat a little bit more so this doesn't happen too fast. Nightly Neon says, I bet you'll get into all sorts of scrapes and scrambles. I mean, I hope not too many. Here to make a nice, delicious, nutritious dessert. I mean, not very nutritious. That part's a lie. Not here to cause any fights. We're just here to have ourselves a sweet time. By the way, I use that, like, turn of phrase all the time. Like in casual conversation, not just online, but also like in person too. And like that definitely was not a thing. That definitely was not something that people said before the comedy button. That is 100% something they made up, right? All right. And here we go. I can already begin to feel it start to thicken, which is exciting. I'm probably going to want to give me a moment. Here we go. I'll grab myself a hot plate. Oh, and here we go. It's beginning to bubble a little bit. I'll let it do this for like another, few seconds. 1, 2, 3. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the temperature entirely off. And we're going to pour this thing back into the bowl. It's turned a nice color, I gotta say. I'm going to grab my scraper over here, and I'm going to just scrape up the inside of the pot so we can get as much of the proto ice cream custard into this thing. And there we go. My arm's getting a little bit tired. I gotta put this somewhere. Hold on, I'm gonna move these things forward. Ice cream maker over there, and I'm gonna put this pot over here. There we go. That'll be good. Okay. We've completed step 3, which means that it's time for step 4. We're gonna need 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract and a pinch of salt. We're gonna after removing it from heat, add a pinch of salt and our vanilla extract over here to this thing. Here we got our vanilla extract right over here. Mm. 1, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Nice and delivered. Come on. Why won't the cap go on? Why? Why? I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna add just a little pinch of salt. There we go. I think that's good. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mix this bad boy up. Looks kind of gross right now, but hold on, I'm going to do it over here so at least the fumes will be absorbed by the hood range. There we go. It's coming nice and integrated, which is good. Actually, you know what? Easier solution is just to move the hood range over so that it's right by the bowl. There we go. By the way, I never really mentioned Nightly Neon in the chat, said I think it's Brian's nonsense. Brian being Brian Altano of the Comedy Button, currently of IGN. I wonder, though, if that is a New Jersey thing. If anyone in the chat is from New Jersey or that kind of area, let me know if you say scrapes and scrambles when talking about fights. Okay, our pinch of salt and our vanilla extract are fully integrated. Which means next we're going to go to step 5. Step 5, strain through a mesh strainer to remove any bits of cooked egg. Pour into a large container or bowl and press plastic wrap or parchment paper to the surface to prevent a film from forming and put it in the fridge. So we're going to need to, once again, move a couple of things around here. First off, I'm just going to unplug our portable burner. And we want to make sure that we have enough room for a couple different things here. Let me, man, I thought this table seemed huge when I bought it, but I'm running into all sorts of issues on these streams where it's like, man, I just don't have enough space to move things around properly. What I'm gonna do is, I have oven mitts this time so I can touch this thing without issue. I'm actually going to give a zoomed out, oops, it's not what I meant to do. I didn't mean to show a zoomed in view of just my face, as much as you love my face. I meant to give you a zoomed in view of, zoomed out view of the desk that I'm working on right now. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to move that over there like that. We're going to push that over there like that. And now, with that all sorted out, we're going to bring in this porcelain dish that we briefly moved to our trolley earlier, and our little mesh strainer. I definitely was not buying for time there because I briefly forgot what the name of the thing is. I'm a competent chef. I know my way around the kitchen. Don't give me any shit. And so, yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start mesh straining the shit out of this thing. We can probably turn off the hood range at this point. It's probably cooled enough. All right. We can zoom back in. And I don't want to do this. There we go. I'll do this. Just to give you a look at what it looks like. Oh, some of it is spilling over there. Yeah, I'll just let it rest like that for a moment. Now I'll use the same scraper that I've been using to scrape as much custard as I can into the strainer. Some of it spilled on the desk. Not bad, not bad at all. I mean, it's basically just a plain vanilla custard. It's not like the best thing you've ever tasted, but it came out good. It came out good. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead. I don't think we're going to need to use this bowl anymore. So I'm going to put it at the bottom of our trolley. There we go. So we no longer have to worry about it. Out of sight, out of mind. And now, hello to Tuples1 in the Twitch chat. You caught us at an interesting time in the stream. We are currently making Nanaimo ice cream bars. And right now, I'm in the process of making the sort of vanilla custard that we will eventually turn into the ice cream part of our ice cream bars. Right now, what I'm doing is I am straining our custard kind of proto ice cream mix through a strainer so that we can get rid of any bits of scrambled eggs that were accidentally created in the process of us making the custard / proto ice cream. Nightly Neon says, I unfortunately must take a call, but it's been lovely hanging out. It's been lovely talking to you, Nightly Neon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope your call goes well. And of course, the rest of my stream, both the unabridged and abridged version of it, will be there for you when you get off of your call. So take care. All right. I think we were... Have we been able to... I think we've been able to push as much of the stuff through the mesh as we've been able to. Oh, but we forgot about the fact that there's a lot of custard proto ice cream on the underside of it. So let's schlep this into our container. And there we go. I think that's pretty good. I'll go ahead and I'll put our strainer into the discard pile at the bottom. You know what? The underside of this thing is pretty hot, so I'm going to move the hot plate here underneath it. And I'm just going to take a moment to kind of straighten out our custard mixture just so that it's a little bit easier for the next step, which is, by the way, harder said than done. Straightening this thing out, it's a little bit on the tough side. I'm going to put this spoon in the discard pile as well. Okay, well, we've managed to flatten it out to the best of our ability. So something, I don't know what the hell made that noise. It must have been, our house has a whole suck pump system that's keeping it afloat amidst all the rain going on. Something must have activated that caused that to happen. I don't think anyone heard it on stream though, so let's keep going. Okay, let's see here. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to actually cut ourselves a piece of parchment paper that we're actually going to lay on top of the proto ice cream / pudding / custard mixture. And the reason why we're going to want to do that is because basically if we don't do that, a kind of like thin but like tough film will form on top of it. And this will prevent that from happening. You know what we need? We need a pair of scissors. Let me grab a pair of scissors, which I have off screen on hand. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut a piece of parchment paper in the shape of the dish we're going to be laying it inside of. Come on. This is harder said than done. There we go. And some of it's getting stuck. And there we go. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put it down like that. There we go, perfect. Things were a little bit hairy for a moment there, but I think we got it on. No real issues, and we're just gonna pat down the sides. And just as an extra, I was going to say precaution, but I think the word that I'm actually trying to get to is, as an extra, let's just say extra step, we're going to also put some plastic wrap on top of this thing so nobody accidentally reaches their hands in there and causes a big ol' mess, like such. And there we go. And with that taken care of, our next step is to put this thingamabob in the fridge. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch to our BRB scene, and I will be BRB. And we are back. Our proto ice cream slash custard slash pudding mixture is in the fridge, and we are ready to move on to our next step. Step number 6, we are going to start by making our base layer. In a small saucepan over medium heat, we are going to melt 1/3 cup of butter. Then we're going to add in 3 tablespoons of sugar, 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and salt, and mix to combine. By salt, we just mean a pinch of salt. You know what? Before we get to any of that, I'm feeling a little bit parched. I know I got absolutely torrentially poured on by Kyogre earlier, so I'm going to grab some water. And you know what? Believe it or not, your boy still has some of those cheddar jacked goldfish from last stream, so I'm going to have some of these bad boys as well. Have myself a good time. Still pretty good. Still pretty good. Okay. Let's go ahead. We'll bring the top-down camera back in once again. Okay. We're going to move that back in position. We'll move our portable hood range back over it as well. Let's see here. We need a small saucepan, so we're going to grab the saucepan that we didn't use earlier and set that up over here. What's next? You know what? I'm just going to move a step ahead to step 7. Step 7, we're actually going to need to whisk 1 large egg in a bowl. And then step 8 is when we're going to be combining our graham cracker crumbs and shredded coconut. We'll stick to step 6 for now. I don't think we need to move too many steps ahead. Let's see here. We need our 1/3 cup of butter. Ahead of time, I actually went and I measured out exactly how much butter we're going to need for this particular section of the stream. Where is it? Oh, it's underneath the milk. It was hiding. It's a naughty little butter if I ever saw one. And there we go. The burner's still a little bit hot, so it's beginning to kind of automatically melt, even though the burner isn't actually on. Next up, we need 3 tablespoons of sugar. We've discovered during the stream that the sugar is coming apart at the seams, so we'll try to be quick about this. Also, the measuring spoons that we're going to be using are still a little bit dirty from the vanilla, so I'm just going to wipe that down. All right, let's grab our sugar. There we go. Tablespoon 1. Tablespoon 2. And tablespoon 3. I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll this bad boy up, put them in our trolley. Actually, I just realized we don't need any of this vanilla custard anymore either. So I'm going to actually roll this up, put it in the trolley as well. Make some more space for us. And I don't think we need any of the parchment paper either. So I'm going to put that in the trolley too. Okay. We got our sugar in there. Let's get our cocoa powder in there next. Seems like our measuring spoon doesn't have too much sugar on it left, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab our first tablespoon of the stuff. There we go. That's 1. That's 2. Well, we're getting a little bit of cocoa powder everywhere. You have to be careful. And that's 3. Let's do a little bit of cocoa powder cleanup. I don't know what I would do without good old paper towel. Okay, first off, the container containing the cocoa powder is clean enough. Next, we're going to wipe up the cocoa powder that's on the table, which has gotten a little bit enmeshed in the table because I guess there was some residue liquid from the milk. And finally, we're going to wipe up the cocoa powder on the burner itself. There we go. I think that's good. Okay. And finally, a pinch of salt. So as usual, we're not going to overdo this. Just a little pinch. And there we go. All right. Let's go ahead and we're going to zoom in a little bit more so people can get a better view of the action. Let's see here. We should probably mix this thing up a little bit. So I'm going to grab myself a spoon. Is this the... Oh, this is probably the spoon I used with the vanilla pudding custard powder thing a little bit. I can probably reuse it here, no real issue. I'm going to mix this thing up. Danfin128 in the Twitch chat says, paper towels are addictive. Yes. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, it's not horrible for the environment to use them, but, you know, it's good as much as possible to not become over-reliant on them. Let's put it that way. All right. There's a bit of butter here that isn't melted fully yet, but I mean, we haven't even turned this on, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to turn it on. Medium heat. So I'm going to set this to... I've discovered that this portable burner tends to be a little bit more on the intensive side, so I'm going to put it to just under 3. There we go. That's good. So yeah, while that's happening, we'll just scoot on ahead to step 7. In a whisk an egg in a bowl and add to the chocolate mixture, whisking constantly until the mixture has thickened. I believe that our egg is actually in our cooler pack. It's funny, I keep putting the cooler pack in, being like, okay, this is the last time we're going to ever need to use this. But I keep forgetting there are yet more things inside here that we're going to need to use later, like this other stick of butter. What we'll need that for, you'll find out. Anyways, we got the egg out of there, so I think we're absolutely good for now. Seems like our butter has fully melted. All right. Let's get our egg in here. Danfin128 in the chat says, OCD do be a pain in the butt. Can be a little tough, but ultimately, we can get through it with the power of friendship. Yeah, that came across as very lame. Disregard that. Let's see. I guess I can probably just reuse the same whisk that I used earlier. There we go. I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Let's see here. Chocolate mixture is looking okay. Let's see here. I'm just gonna wait for the pot to like heat up ever so slightly more before we add the egg in. I guess while we're doing that, we can probably work on step 8. Step 8 is in a medium-sized bowl, combine the graham cracker and coconut. That's 1 cup each of graham crackers and shredded coconut. Pour the hot chocolate mixture and mix until everything is moistened. It should look crumbly, but if you press it together with your hands, it should hold its shape. Let's see here. I'm an idiot. I didn't even realize that I didn't even plug in our portable burner. Let me plug that back in. And there we go. On and under 3. There we go. Now we're good. Yeah. Because it's one of those things where it's like, 2pulls1 in the chat says RIP. It's one of those things where it's like, I always make a point of unplugging the burner when I'm not using it, because it's you know, good practice to do that so you don't run into some sort of weird situation where the burner is not supposed to be on and it causes an issue. But sometimes it causes an issue when it's supposed to be on and it's not. Nice water. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna measure out our coconut. I have a half used bag over here. Probably won't amount to the full 1 cup that we need. Also, how did I twist this on? What? I need to untwist this. Why is this not working? I need to use a pair of scissors. There we go. Let's see here. This is the same cup that we used for the vanilla pudding mix. I'll just wipe down the inside of this so that we don't have any residual vanilla pudding inside of the base. Oops. That's good enough. Oh, whoops. I'm always spilling everything everywhere on these streams. It's a bad habit of mine. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it's slightly under. It's like 3/4 of a cup. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up Big Mama next. Well, let's Seems like our chocolate mixture is beginning to bubble. You know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill this up to get our full cup. I'm going to pour our coconut mixture in the bowl, and then we'll tend to our chocolate mixture. Oh, is that too much? Nope, just right. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. Whisk the egg into the bowl and add the chocolate mixture, whisking constantly until the mixture has thickened. Let's go ahead and let's do exactly that. Gonna turn the hood range on. Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna turn off the heat. Doesn't look great, but anyways. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna put this over here to the side temporarily. I'll put this here temporarily. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna measure our cup of graham crackers into our coconut mix. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna grab our measuring cup. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna pour in a nice cup of this stuff. Spilling everything everywhere as usual. Is this enough? No, it's not. Okay, it's a little bit more. Nope, a little bit more. There we go. Slightly more than we need, but still pretty good. And with that taken care of, we're going to pour our hot chocolate mixture into our mix of crumbs and coconut. Just move this out of the way. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn off our portable hood range. There we go. And with that taken care of, it's time to mix this bad boy up. When I poured the egg in, I kind of made a mistake, which is that I should have been like whisking the mixture constantly, but I only started whisking the mixture like a split second after I realized the eggs were falling into it. But I don't think that this will dramatically affect the finished product that we're arriving at here with the base layer. Let's see. Let's see. By the way, I hope the quality and volume on my microphone sounds good. I explained this a little bit earlier when I started the stream, but I recently set up a new lav mic to use with my Rode Go, which is how I transmit my dulcet tones to you guys. And I only set it up like just literally like a moment before I went live because I'm bad and a procrastinator. And I think it sounds pretty good from the test recordings I did, but if you guys think it could be a little bit improved, by all means, let me know. And I will definitely see what I can do. There's still a bunch of clumps of like the chocolate mixture that haven't fully integrated into the rest of the coconut. And graham cracker crumbs, but I think we're good. The idea is, according to the recipe, it should look crumbly, but if you press it together with your hands, it should hold its shape. If you can, you can add a tablespoon of water. 2 + 1 says they are great. All right. Let's go ahead. We're gonna press this stuff together. Seems like it's a little bit more crumbly than it should be. I'm gonna go ahead. Hold on. I'm gonna put the vanilla away. I noticed it was there. I was like, I don't want to accidentally spill that over. Let's go ahead. Let's add an extra. Let's start with half a tablespoon of water and see if that brings it up to snuff. Smells really good though. The coconut, the chocolate, the crumbs. It's very, very aromatic. Ugh. Okay, it's a little bit better. I wonder if maybe the issue is that I added a few too many crumbs. I'm gonna add just one final half of a tablespoon of water, and then I think that's gonna be good. Okay, I think we're good on that regard. Let's see here. Step 9, we need to get a 9 by 9 inch baking pan with parchment paper. And we're gonna add the base mixture to the bottom and press evenly into the pan, spreading it into the corners. Now here's the deal. I do have a square 9 by 9 inch baking pan. But we are going to be using that for something else. What that something else is, you'll see that in just a bit. However, I don't have a second one, but what I do have is a 9 by 9 inch springform pan. So a circular pan. Maybe not exactly the shape that you might expect, but I mean, the outcome will be the same in terms of the flavor of what we're going for here. So let's go ahead. Whoops. Something almost fell over, but it didn't at the last moment. It's going to make a little bit of space, and we're going to put our base mixture at the bottom of our springform pan. Whoops. You'll notice that I already put a circular piece of parchment paper at the bottom of the springform pan. So that part is already taken care of. All right. Without further ado, let's spread this stuff in here. And now the fun part, we got to spread this stuff all out and about, and we got to push it down so that we can make a nice and firm crumb base layer. Now I'm just pushing it down with the spoon as much as I can and spreading it out that way, but eventually I'm gonna get in there with my hands. That loud noise that, I don't know if you guys heard that, maybe it was just me, but it happened again, and I'm assuming that, yeah, that is just some apparatus within the circulation system of our house that makes that noise because of the current water filtration unit going haywire, trying to accommodate for all the water. All right, let's push down a little bit with the old handsies. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. Gotta be honest, I've been using my hands for a lot of things. Hands are getting a little bit stained. Let's go ahead and let's bring in our old friend, the sink camera, so we can give them a nice wash. And here I am. Well, not me. Here I am. But these are just my hands. Yeah. The particular soap that I have set up here in the little sink unit is called Bath and Body Works Coastal Watermelon Gentle Foaming Hand Soap. I really, doesn't really smell like much, doesn't really smell like watermelon, but I do appreciate the way it foams up. The foaminess is very effective. And I am back. Gotta love a sink camera. Okay. Our thing is at the bottom of our springform 9x9" baking pan. And so, next thing that we're gonna do, step 10, is we're gonna get our proto ice cream mixture from out of the fridge. Now here's the deal. Here's the deal, guys. I gotta come clean with something. In the original recipe, it says that basically with our proto ice cream / custard / vanilla pudding mixture that we made a little bit earlier, what we want to do is we actually want to leave that in the fridge for like over an hour and or like potentially overnight until it's fully cooled. That proto ice cream / vanilla pudding / custard mixture is not fully cooled by now, but ahead of time, I actually made another whole batch of the same mixture, which we are going to be putting on this thing because it has been left in the fridge to cool overnight. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to BRB with our pre-prepared mixture. And here we are. As you can see, it's in a slightly different container than the one that we used for the mixture that we made on stream just a little bit earlier, but it's the same quantity of it. Let me bring the top-down camera back into view. And yeah, I think it'll actually fit very nicely on top of the base crumb mixture that we made. Our table is getting a little bit crowded all of a sudden once again, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some stuff into the trolley underneath us now that we no longer need it, such as our graham cracker crumbs, for example. Don't need those. Actually, I just realized we have a little clip-on thingamabob that we can use to flip this thing up like such. And there we go. We're going to put that in there as well. I don't think we need any more salt. I don't think we're going to need any more salt for the final bit of stuff at the end. Right, that's part of the coconut mixture. Or rather, the shredded coconut, which we don't need anymore either. I wish I still had the twist tie that I had on hand. I'll roll it up really nice like this. And then I'll put it into the trolley like that. Let's see. I don't think we're going to need this bowl anymore that we used for whipping up our eggs. I also don't think we're going to need to use this particular pot, but it's still a little bit hot. This right here is the pot that we used earlier when we were making our original custard layer. We are going to need our measuring spoons, but I think everything else, actually, we might need to use the scraper. So I'll take those, but everything else I'll put in the trolley as well. And there we go. And let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I think everything else we can kind of keep on hand for the time being. Actually, we probably don't need one of these two measuring cups, so I'll put that in there as well. Okay, and there we go. That's, oops, looks like the chocolate chips fell. Hold on, I'm gonna grab those real quick. And there we go. Okay, let's go ahead. Ooh, get these things in order. Zoom in. Let's see here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna remove the parchment paper on top of our proto ice cream pudding mixture. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where things are gonna get freaky deaky, because before we put it on top of our crumb layer, we're gonna actually turn it into proper ice cream. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna grab our ice cream maker. Actually, I just realized we never unplugged the portable burner, so we will unplug that now and plug in our portable ice cream maker. And I'm actually realizing, will the portable burner interfere with the ice cream maker? Will it potentially, will its kind of like nearby heat interfere with it at all? That is something I didn't really consider. Temporarily, I'm just going to put our portable burner isn't super hot anymore. I'm just going to put it on top of this cutting board that I have in the trolley underneath here. There we go. I think that'll be good. All right. So I'm just gonna, I realized that I never, amidst all the hustle and bustle of everything, I never read the next steps. I'm just gonna read the next step in full. Get the ice cream mixture from the fridge that I prepared last night. Process the ice cream as per the instructions of our Cuisinart ice cream maker. Evenly spread the ice cream into our prepared pan on top of the base layer. And then we're gonna put this in the freezer. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna take these things off, and I'm gonna step very briefly off screen so that I can grab our ice cream bowl. You can probably hear me struggling a little bit, which is the frozen bowl that our ice cream is going to be processed inside of. And there we go. We're going to go ahead. Let me grab a clean spoon. I'm just going to mix up our proto ice cream pudding mixture a little bit. Doesn't look super nice right now, but after we put it in the ice cream mixture, it'll come out looking a lot smooth. Once we put this thing in the ice cream mixer, I'm gonna ban you so fast, bow dimensi. All right, turn this thing on. It's beginning to rotate. Without further ado, oh, hold on, let me wipe down the scraper real quick and real fast. There we go. I'm gonna start putting the stuff in here. Let me use a scraper. Go, just get the last little bit. Proto ice cream into the ice cream maker. Come on. Come on, little one. And I think we're good. Oh, hold on. Don't forget about the spoon. And then we'll scrape up the spoon. Now, my Cuisinart ice cream maker says that typically you wanna like process your ice cream for like potentially 20 minutes. But what I found in my experience is that it usually takes much less time than that. We're looking more at like 11 to 14 minutes. All right. Ugh. Back is a little bit sore because I've been leaning over this entire time. It's odd. Why is Bow Dimensi not visible in the chat? I should be able to ban them. Damn it. I'm telling you this right now, I hate the Twitch app on my phone. Like, it should be incredibly easy to just manage my stream from here. Danfin128 says they might have left. That probably makes the most sense. But man, they should just... Managing your stream from the Discord app should be so easy, and I don't know why it isn't. Sec. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's that. So yeah, I don't know how many minutes it's been that this ice cream has been in here, but we'll be paying close attention to it. I gotta say, it looks very interesting right now. I don't want to say anything provocative that might get me in trouble with the Twitch police, but it certainly has an appearance. I'm just gonna take some time to scrape up the detritus that has been left on the desk. Tuples1 says, I think there's a small issue with the sound. Every time you talk, there's static that goes along with it. It's not too loud, but it's noticeable. I think, so here's the thing, there's a little bit of static anytime I talk, but I think Tuples1, it's more noticeable right now because of the ice cream mixture. Because of the ice cream mixer. Like, if I stand over here at the very back of the room, I'd imagine that the white noise that you're hearing is probably not as audible than if I'm standing right here. You can see that it's probably, again, I can't hear my own audio right now, but I suspect it's the ice cream mixer. And the thing is I have a noise gate set up on my mic so that you're not hearing the ice cream mixer when I'm not talking. So anyways, yeah, it's a little annoying. It's something that, you know, certainly to consider going forward, figuring out in the future if I can find a more elegant way to deal with that. Maybe make it so that, like, you can always hear the ice cream mixer or other such drone-like sounds on a continuous basis, so that you know to distinguish between those sorts of sounds and my voice whenever it is that I'm speaking. Anyways, the thing about ice cream makers is, in general, not just when you're making them, using them on streams like this, but in general, these guys are louder than you think they would be. They're kind of annoying, to be totally honest. Okay. Just putting more things away in the trolley. Go, our ice cream is looking very fine. Very fine. I think we've got like another 3 or so minutes on it left. I don't think we need this container either. Let's I'm gonna bring our portable burner back here. you know what I'm also going to do is I'm also going to bring our cutting board in here, which we've not shown on stream yet, but we're going to need that for the kind of like final act, the very, very end. Just keep the portable burner on the cutting board for now. The next and last two ingredients we're going to be using are our chocolate chips, or secret chocolate chips, and our butter. So have these on the side over here. And it's looking like we're getting almost there. Oh, and we can also put the bowl that we use for our second custard mix, and we're and put it away. Where can we put it away? I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? We can probably just put it here. There we go. Let's grab some cheddar jacked goldfish before we forget. Where is our scraper? Here we go. I put the scraper in the trolley, but we're actually going to need this one more time. I should probably get multiple scrapers like these, because this thing has been the real MVP of our stream, doing so many things. But yeah, we're going to need it to help spread our ice cream into the springform pan. Just wipe it down and get it ready for that. Okay, looking over at our ice cream, I don't really see it moving a whole lot anymore. I think we're good. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn off our ice cream mix. That should... I keep saying ice cream mix, or mixture, but what I mean to say is mixer. Mixer, like the abandoned live streaming platform that no longer exists. All right. You know what? Let's zoom out in our top-down view so that we can just have a slightly better view of the action here. Ooh, this stuff is... Ooh. Yeah, this stuff's good. This stuff's ready. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to... best of my ability, put the ice cream on top of the base layer. I'll probably need to also use the spoon to help get as much of this ice cream off of this thing. We'll do that in a moment. I'll just put this upside down like that for a moment. Okay. More ice cream on there. I'm beginning to realize, actually, the scraper will be good for spreading this stuff around, but what I actually need right now is I actually need another spoon. This is a spoon that I used a moment ago to scrape the custard into, the ice cream mixer, so I'll use it again now to scrape it out. There we go. This is just what we needed. It's funny, I prepared 4 spoons for today's stream, thinking I probably won't need to use all 4 of them. But lo and behold, I've used all 4 of them, and I've not used any of the 3 forks that I have off camera. If there was a, like, anti-MVP of today's stream, that would be the forks. There we go. All right. I'm gonna really get in here. Make sure no ice cream is wasted. There's a lot of ice cream that ends up getting frozen to like the sides of this thing. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to like scrape it up, get it in there. All right. Eventually, though, at some point, I'm going to have to relinquish the fight to any remaining ice cream that's still stuck on the sides of this thing, though, because it's a little bit too tough to scrape all of it up. Okay. I think that's good. All right. Go ahead, spread it around. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to grab our scraper, just scrape up any excess ice cream that's still on this thing. It's melted a little bit more, it's easier to get it off, actually. Get it off. Ooh, that was a lame joke on my part. I'll try to be better. And now we're going to spread it so that it's all nice and smooth and uniform, at least to the best of our ability. There's a bit of a bump in the center where it's still not fully level, so we're just doing our best. And there we go. Okay. We're going to go ahead and, you know what? I'm just going to rinse my hands real quick. Real super quick. Danfin, I see your message. I'll get to it just when I get back in a moment. Danfin 128 in the Twitch chat says, what is the age rating of these, out of curiosity? I mean, on YouTube, I indicate that they're not for kids. And I think on Twitch, I have something similar set up, but it's like, it's not like these are like super M-rated M for mature things. It's just, you know, I'm not afraid to embrace the darkness as need be in the middle of these streams. I don't want to keep these things super squeaky clean. And that's sort of what I mean in saying it's not for kids. It's not that these are super dirty affairs. It's just that I don't want to constantly have to worry about saying, oh no, I actually said a bad word on stream. Not like a bad word, like a word that I shouldn't ever say, but like, you know, the kind of G-rated swears that kids might pick up. And by the way, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to be putting it into my freezer that is off camera right over here. I got a little bit lost what I was trying to say there. Basically, these streams, sorry, I'm just rearranging some boxes so I can put that safely into our refrigeration unit. You probably heard a little bit of a noise there. These streams aren't like super duper crazy adult oriented, but they are PG enough that I don't want to say yes, it's for kids. Let's put it at that. Okay. That is taken care of. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna unplug our ice cream mixer and push it over here to the side. Let's go ahead and let's check our handy dandy iPhone recipe. Let's see here. All right. And now step 11, we are going to clean the pan that we used to make the chocolate mixture for the base layer. And then we are going to fill it with water for boiling. Because here's the plan. Here's the plan. I just put that particular dish into the freezer. But what if I told you, in addition to preparing a batch of the kind of like proto ice cream mixture, custard mixture, vanilla pudding mixture ahead of time for this stream, I also prepared ahead of time. Yes, I actually did this. I actually made an entire other batch of the already frozen ice cream and base layer of chocolate, coconut, and graham cracker crumbs in a 9x9-inch square pan. I actually did all of that ahead of time, and so the idea is we are going to be melting some chocolate and pouring it on the top of this thingamabob. Whew. And now you understand why I say that this stream took so much work to set up. And so the idea is what we're going to be doing is we're going to be basically doing a double broiler mixture where we are going to be, let me grab the smaller pan from earlier. We are going to be heating this up over our portable burner. We're going to be heating up some water over this, and that water is going to boil. And then on top of this, we're going to have this pan. This pan is where we're going to have our chocolate and a little bit of butter. And basically the idea is the boiling and steam generated by the water will evenly melt the chocolate and butter on top of it so that it will melt in a uniform and nice manner. And so yeah, before we can do anything, we have to make sure that we can clean the inside of this and then fill it with a little bit of water. So let's bring our sync camera back in. Obviously, we don't need to do a very thorough job of cleaning it out. Oh, whoops. Forgot that I gotta move this thing downward like this. All right, I think that's good enough clean. It's a little bit, the sides of it are a little bit wet, but we'll be able to wipe it down once we get back to our cooking room. Okay, I think that's good. And we are back. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put our thingamabob over there to make more space for us. Like I said earlier, the entirety of this pot pots and pans. Just go one in together. It's easy to confuse the two of them. Got covered in a little bit of water, so we're just gonna wipe that down a little bit so it doesn't affect the process of us using it with the portable burner. Let's see, is there anywhere else? Sides of it are all good. Let's see, it's the bottom that I'm still a little concerned about. I think we're good. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna read the steps that we're still gonna be dealing with as they are written. Clean the pan that was used to make the chocolate mixture as the base layer and then fill it with water for boiling. That was step 11. Step 12, we're going to make our chocolate topping. We're going to melt our chocolate, which is going to be about 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and butter, which is going to be about 2 tablespoons of butter, with our double broiler technique that was described earlier, which is where we're going to be boiling the water in our pan. Or rather our pot. I'm getting confused all the time now. I'm sorry, guys. And then while that's boiling, we're gonna have our chocolate and butter in the bowl over here. I didn't want to call it a pot or a pan. Got to keep these things separate. And then the idea is that using this technique will allow it to melt uniformly. Then we will take out and pour this chocolate mixture over the ice cream layer. This will be the ice cream mixture that we had frozen overnight. It will harden very quickly according to the instructions, so we need to work fast, smoothing out over the top evenly. 13, place back in the freezer. We're going to do that for just another 5 minutes so the chocolate topping freezes over fully. And then step 14, the final step, we're going to remove bars, getting so confused right now. We're going to take our ice cream bars out of the freezer after we've let it freeze for about 5 minutes. We're going to pull it out via the parchment paper. We're going to remove the parchment paper, and then we're going to take out our cutting board right over here. And then we're going to cut it up on the cutting board into a bunch of bars using a good knife that we have on hand. And we are going to taste test today's creation. That is the plan. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead. We're going to plug this bad boy in. This time we don't encounter the same issue that we encountered last time where we forgot that it was properly plugged in. Actually, you know what I'm realizing right now? When I just put the bowl on top of this thing, it actually touches the water, and I feel like we want there to be a little bit of a separation. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to return to the sink very briefly, and I'm actually going to just pour out just a little bit of water. I knew that we had put maybe a little bit too much water in the thing, but I figured we just let it hang. But yeah, I think this is the right call. And let's see. Portable burner is looking good. Let's see here. I'm going to turn that on. Hold on, I haven't turned on the temperature yet, though. I'm going to put our bowl in here. Let's go ahead. Let's grab our chocolate chips. Oops. Got to move the sync camera out of the way. My bad. Hold on. I need to use these scissors for these bad boys. So let's see here. We have 250 grams of chocolate chips. Let's do some real quick math. The recipe is asking us to use 4 ounces. So let's see here. Chocolate chips. 200 grams to ounces. I almost wrote pounces. All right, let's see here. Let's see. 113 grams is equal to about 4 ounces. You know what? An easier measurement for us will be chocolate chips, ounces to cups. That'll make it easier for us to figure this out. Let's see here. 4 ounces is equal to about... and it seems like it's a little inconclusive. But it's definitely, I mean, if this is 250 grams, it's going to be about half of this, right? Okay. So what we got to do is we got to eyeball what we think is about half. And then the other half we'll keep in our bag. Yeah, it's a little... I think we'll be fine. You can always add more as we go. Next up, let's go ahead and let's get our butter in here. Just 2 tablespoons of the stuff, so we're not going to need to use this whole block. Only thing is, our measuring spoon is still stained with all of the cocoa powder from earlier, but we still have the half tablespoon measuring spoon, so I'm just going to use that. So I'll measure 1/2 tablespoon, 2/2 tablespoon, 3/2 tablespoon, and that's 4/2 tablespoons, and there we go. And that's that for the butter. So with that taken care of, our portable burner is on. We're going to go ahead and we're going to turn this up to, I mean, if we want to just, you know, have the water boiling, we can obviously turn this up to the highest heat as fast as possible, but I'm going to turn it up to 4, and we'll keep an eye on this. Let's go ahead. We'll zoom in a little bit more because we might as well. I hope everyone's had a good time on today's stream. Process of getting it all together was a lot of work because I had to prepare all these like pre-prepared mixes of custard and prepared ice cream ahead of time. But I've had a lot of fun doing this. And I'm looking forward to the finished result. I'm going to want to save these chocolate chips later on for when I properly prepare our second ice cream mixture, the one that we just put in the freezer in the springform circular pan. So I'm going to try not to snack on them too much. I just realized right now we actually can still use the scraper a little bit for what is to come. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead. Man, our sync camera is, talk about MVPs on today's stream. The sync camera's been the MVP and our scraper has been the MVP, and now the two of them are coming together to unite as one as I wipe all the excess half-frozen ice cream off of our scraper so we can use it with our forthcoming chocolate mixture. Good job, sync camera. Good job, scraper. Let's see here. Sync camera out. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna move our cutting board out of the way over here. Let's see if we lift this up. Water is slowly heating up. Getting there. I gotta be honest with you guys. I kind of gotta pee a little bit. Not a lot, but just enough that I'm like, ooh, should probably make a point of not wasting too much more time. Let's see here. Don't you worry though, we'll finish tonight's stream before your boy goes pee-pee. You know what? I never really got a chance to just full bore, like, properly taste any of the ice cream. It's not a lot left in the ice cream maker, and it's all, like, clinging to the sides of the thingy, but let me get a little bit in here. Pretty good. I mean, it's just like a standard, like, custard vanilla ice cream, but pretty good. It does very distinctly remind me of Nanaimo, the middle layer of the classic Canadian treat. So I suppose in that regard, it's doing its job. Yeah, this stuff's good. This is going to be, I'm telling it right now, last week we made a fantastic finished product in the form of the cheeseburger omelet. This week, if we hit the moon last time, we're going for the stars this week with the ice cream bars that we're going to be finishing. This is going to be fantastic. Fantastic. I'm getting there. Our little chipettes are actually beginning to melt a little bit. Look at that. It's very slight though. But we're beginning to see the fruits of our labors come together. All right. You know, we should probably prepare the hood range just so that it's in close proximity to the portable burner so it can properly absorb some of the steam. As we go. This apron that I'm wearing is another apron that I actually got at IKEA. It's the same place that I got the other apron that I was wearing on the first stream. I think it complements pretty well with this, I guess, violet shirt that I'm wearing. It's like a shade of like purple between purple and blue. So I said violet, but I don't know if that's actually technically what I would want to say, what I would want to call it. I'm going to turn on the portable hood range. Bring our top-down camera back into view. Ooh. Going to be very careful here because I don't want to accidentally spill our water over. So you know what? I'm going to turn up the portable hood range a little bit. There we go. Oof, I'm going to need to wear oven mitts for this. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn off the portable burner. Of course, we're still going to keep the hood range on so it can absorb as much of the steam as possible. We're going to grab our ice cream from our freezer. So it's all coming together. And hold on, I'm just gonna let it melt a little bit more on top so we can, it's gonna be as easy for us to spread it as possible. So you know what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add a little bit of extra butter, just because maybe that will make it a little bit easier for us to spread it about. I'm gonna melt that in there. All right, this is where we gotta act fast. So we're gonna act fast. Come on, work with me. Come on, work with me. Please work with me. Don't make this hard on yourself. Okay, well, it didn't go perhaps as perfectly as I would have hoped. Hold on, we still have a few little bits and scrapes of chocolate that we can spread around, so let's get those in there as fast as we can. Yeah, I thought the chocolate part here was going to be a lot easier to spread, but it was not easy to spread. Not at all. I just... a finger in here, can I maybe just get a little bit more out of it? All right, got a little bit left. Do just a little bit of correction to the best of my ability. At this point, there are just a few like tiny little holes here and there that we gotta worry about mopping up. There's like a big section here where we weren't really able to get a lot of chocolate onto it, but we tried our best. Okay. Whew. Hands are dirty once more, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to bring in the sink camera so we can wash them down real quick. I was trying as hard as possible not to use my fingers at the end to spread the chocolate, but in the moment, I was like, I need to do whatever I can here to try to spread the chocolate as quickly as I possibly can. So we got a little carried away. Okay. Let's see. We gotta... I think, you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the ice cream mixer to that corner of the table. We're gonna move our portable burner over here and let water continue to evaporate into the portable hood range. You know what? I said earlier that we would put this thing back in the freezer. I'm going to put it back in the freezer for like a minute. I don't think we need to do the full 5 minutes because it looks pretty, how should I say, pretty evenly frozen. I thought I would need to freeze it a little bit more, but clearly that was not the case. A little extra water, because your boy likes his water. Move our bowl out to the side. Well, some water ended up here on the table. How did that happen? I don't know. And yeah, I think we're good. So I'm going to go and I'm going to grab our ice cream. And here we are. So yeah, we got to go ahead and we got to get our ice cream bars out of the 9x9-inch baking dish. It's loose thanks to the parchment paper that I put inside of this ahead of time. But I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. You know what? I got an idea. We're going to go ahead and we're going to grab a piece of parchment paper like such. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this bad boy over onto my hand. And now I'm going to flip it back over onto our cutting board. Check that out. And now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to remove the parchment paper on the sides of this thing. And I just washed my hands, but they're already getting dirty all over again. I should probably just have a dish towel on hand. Let's go ahead. I'm going to turn off the portable hood range because I don't think we need to use it anymore. I think our water is sufficiently died down. In fact, we should probably actually, you know what? Probably just going to throw this in the sink. Don't need it anymore, so might as well dump it. And there you go. That is all she said. Let's bring that out. Wow, I gotta say, this thing, from the top-down angle, I mean, I can bring in the more zoomed-in version. It looks decent, but, like, this really looks good. This really, really looks good from my perspective. I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to take a couple of photos while I have the opportunity to do so, just to kind of preserve this moment. Ooh, these are some... I'm getting some good shots here, guys. Boys, girls, non-binary people. I am getting some good shots of our frozen Nanaimo bar creation. All right. Well, that's taken care of. Let's go ahead and let's cut this bad boy up. I'm trying to figure out what would be the most equitable way to cut this guy up. I guess I could cut it into half, and I could cut it into, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut it into half, the best of my ability. Oh. It's a little bit tough, but we don't need to do a perfect cut. Now we're going to cut that half in half. Make ourselves a quarter. It's not perfect, but we just need to make like kind of like the general thing that we're going for. Now what we're going to do is we are going to cut that quarter in half. Cut. I need to cut a little bit more. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. Just grab some more paper towel so I can wipe down my hand a little bit more. I'm going to take a couple more photos of this bad boy because this right here is a beauty. In fact, from this angle, it's probably going to look even better. Whew. Sorry that I'm standing in front of the camera. I just want to make sure that I can get a good angle of this bad boy. Just a couple more shots on my hand. Couple more shots of my hand. Whoops. I don't even realize how nasty some things sound until you say them. There we go. I think that's enough pictures. And with that all taken care of, there's only one thing left for us to do, and that is take ourselves a nice big bite of our Nanaimo ice cream bar and see how it turned out. Okay, so here's what I'll say. You know, whenever I have the old bog standard Nanaimo bar, not the ice cream variety, the normal variety, I'm very used to the center of the Nanaimo bar, the custardy part of the Nanaimo bar, being very overpowering and very silky smooth, tasting just like a good old super sugary pudding. What's interesting about the center filling of the ice cream Nanaimo bar is it's not overly sweet, and because of its ice cream texture, it's obviously a little bit tougher to get through. And yet, even though it's sort of a downgrade from the original OG Nanaimo bar in that way, there's something that I appreciate about it not being overly sweet, about its flavor being a little bit more muted. And as a whole, combined with the chocolate coating on top and the kind of like coconut crumble on the bottom, it really comes together well. I will say, you know, this is ice cream. I took a big bite a moment ago. probably should not have taken a bite that big. I think something like this definitely benefits from eating a little bit more slowly. I probably didn't need to cut myself a bar that big, but I mean, I'm the boss around here. I spend all this time preparing this particular dish, this particular stream. I think I get to call the shots. And yeah, I think the shots are saying that we made right here a tasty ass dessert on today's stream, and I'm gonna have to try oh so hard to not eat all of it all at once, because this thing is going to be tempting. All right, I'm just wipe up my hands once more. And with that, I'd like to hold on. A little piece of ice cream in my mouth scraped against the inside of my gums, and I got a little bit of that head freeze for a moment there. I'm good though. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to tonight's stream. Remember that this is season 5 of Kozibear's Cooking, and that new episodes of it are currently streaming live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hold on, another little piece got stuck in my mouth. There we go, get that over with. And that new episodes of it are currently streaming live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on both twitch.tv/CozyBearLive and youtube.com/@CozyBearLive from now until August 7th. You can also watch past VODs of both this season and all the prior seasons of Kozibear's Cooking on both platforms, as well as highlight reels and clips of the season's best moments exclusively on YouTube. And if you want to keep track of me outside of my streaming efforts, you can find me over on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at AlexKozina. That's at ALEXKOZINA. With that all taken care of, it's time to, of course, close out tonight's stream. In traditional fashion, we are going to do so by rating one of our fellow content creators over on Twitch. Let's see here. Who is currently streaming? Ooh, look at that. CG Danny is currently doing some cool stuff. So I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to send some love their way. So I'm going to go ahead and give them the good old raid. And this time around, I have it set up on my phone so I can hit the raid now button the moment that I'm able to do so. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good night.